Hey, my name is Stephen Mulindra. Now, less than a couple of days ago, Nigeria celebrated 60th independence anniversary, and there's a lot really to discuss about Nigeria. The question is it worth it? Is it worth celebrating the 60th anniversary? The country has seen it all: military coups, civil war, ever presence of Boko Haram in the north. Everything has happened and is still happening in Nigeria. What went wrong in the country usually referred to as the belt of the green belt of Africa? Muhamad Buhari, the current president of Nigeria, is telling us that he has turned things around. But has he? With me in the studio are two patriotic Nigerians, I should say, who really love their country and want the best for their country. Mr. Obi Okoli, a political analyst and IT consultant who's been here in this program for quite a long time, and he's been here before, so he's not new. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Kedi, I think I'm pronouncing your name
Kedi
right.
Ahel.
Kedi Ahel, a chairman and publisher, Nigerian Magazine, and London-based lawyer. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, the key thing that really puzzles everybody that I think we need to start with is the question of where is Nigeria going? There's a lot. In fact, when I look at my list here, I don't know where to start from. I mean, it should have been one of the most developed countries in the world, not just in Africa, but in the world. Because from my research, I found that it practically gets enough oil out. It sells enough oil, almost the same as United Arab Emirates. But when you go to United Arab Emirates and you see the difference between the two, then you start wondering, where does all the money go? Or what is happening? In short, there must be something which is not going on right. Maybe you as patriotic Nigerians could say, we are looking at solutions in this program rather than problems. I think we all know the problems, but there has to be a way in which you find a solution to each problem. And that's how the developed world is. They find solution to problems. And I'm trying to see, and Africa is trying to see if we can have a solution to the money problems, the issues of politics, and so on and so forth. We'll discuss that as we go along. What should be the first thing to be corrected if Nigeria is to develop?
Well,
I don't know who, anybody can start.
Any of us can go. Yeah. Well, again, thank you. You've raised a lot of questions.
Yeah. In one question.
In one question.
Yeah.
But let me say this, that Nigeria is a country of 210 million people. 210
million, yeah.
Yes, over...
I think it's over that, yeah.
Well, about 210 million conservative estimate.
Yeah.
Nigeria is $1 trillion economy.
Yeah.
The GDP is 500 billion, and the informal sector is 4 times the size of the formal sector. Okay. So that makes it $1 trillion economy.
Country, yeah.
So Nigeria has a lot of positive going for it. There are also challenges, but my view and personal opinion is that to solve a problem, you need to understand what the problems
is exactly.
Really. Yeah. So you can't just say come up with a solution. Anybody who gives you a solution to Nigeria's problem, I will nominate him for
Nobel Prize.
For Nobel Prize. I'm not saying it's impossible, but quickly, I don't know how much time I have, but I think it's important to put some of the challenges in context. Because we're talking about 60 years of independence, and I can quickly go over that. So you're looking at a country, 1960, independence, the Union Jack lowered. There was expectation, and Nigeria had it. Unfortunately, 6 years later, there was the first military coup. 7 years later, civil war, brutal civil war. Our brothers in the southeast lost 2 million people. It's important week.
I think it was over that. Over 2 million people.
That's a lot. One life is important. So to lose over 2 million people is a lot. And it's a testimony actually to their spirit. Then we go to 1970 quickly. The civil war is over. 71, Nigeria joins OPEC. 73, 74, the oil boom comes. Gowon, who was head of state, is quoted as saying that money is not Nigeria's problem, it's how to spend it. And once that comment was made, obviously all the sharks from everywhere were looking into Nigeria. And then Nigeria has so much money, but the priorities, to my mind, were wrong. The important thing is that Nigeria was able to build dams, airports, seaport, and all those infrastructure and some universities. But they did not diversify the economy.
Okay.
And then there was one crazy thing that happened. A lawyer called Udoji was asked to do a public policy reform. He did it to reform the civil service, but the Supreme Military Council extended it, and then teachers and non-public sector workers were being paid salaries. Their increase backdated. And so Nigeria has so much money, they started paying salaries, crazy salaries and all those stuff, and taking care and spending money just anyhow. They go to countries, other countries, send Nigerians there. So Nigeria had money. And they were doing this thing. And then fast forward 2 years later, maybe 78, the economy went down, the military were clever, they handed over power to the civilians 79. Nigeria was already in trouble economically, and things went wrong. The 80s, I don't want to bore everyone with, was military coup upon coups. And then fast forward to 99, democracy came. But what came with democracy was that you had a constitution that was imposed on Nigerians. We didn't have a say in that constitution, and that is part of the crisis that you have today in Nigeria.
Okay.
And so I needed to give that background so that you have an understanding of the challenges Nigeria is now facing today. And so when you're talking about solutions, that's what you should be looking at, is how do you as a set of people address issues.
The issues, How do you address
it? And that's, to my mind, what we should be looking at. Is it through education? Is it, I would say, there's a lot of mindset challenges. So impunity, for example, people do what, there's no consequences for action. And so these things have culminated in, say, almost 21 years of return to democracy, and this is where we are. But I'm sure we'll find solutions to it.
Obi, somebody has suggested a solution. I know you could go over this, but somebody has suggested a solution of saying, we have $23 billion. I've looked at the budget for Nigeria and all that. Supposing we say each state takes 5 to 6 billion, and it has its governors, and then each state strives to see, we do it state by state rather than using the central government. I know you go into the history first, and then show us what can be done to solve this problem. Because somebody came up with that suggestion, and he was actually saying that if you give the Igbos, say 50 billion, the Igbos will develop faster than the rest of Nigeria because they know how to handle money. And I said, no, that's not the issue. The issue is, then you will what will happen to the central government if you are giving money into this? Do you think that's a solution?
Before I answer that, I think what we need to do is, first of all, understand the demographics or the precedents that led to the creation of a nation called Nigeria. Now, in 1914, the British people, being smart, understanding the mindset of the black people and in Africa, and after the Berlin Conference, before even the Berlin Conference, in 1914, they looked at it. They understood the complexities because they were there. They saw the nation, they saw the people they met in today Nigeria, from Cameroon, from Igbo nation, from Yoruba nation, from Edo, Benin Kingdom, from everywhere. They knew, having dealt with these people, that it would be highly impossible for these people to be together. Go back to the scriptures. the people were building a tower to go to heaven.
Yeah.
And God looked upon them and he called his disciples. He said, let us confuse them with language.
So they won't do
Hence,
that again, yeah.
They build this tower into heaven. The white man is knowledgeable, like Chinua Achebe said. He said they have come. We were amazed at their stupidity. But they came with their religion. They turned our brothers against us.
Yeah.
Now our brother has joined, our brothers and sisters have joined them. Who? How do we start?
That things fall apart.
They have now put a sword into the things that held us together, and things are falling apart. So from 1914, things fell apart. But what they did was they brought everybody together and they called it amalgamation, which means
put them all together.
Joining together of people with diverse culture, diverse language, diverse beliefs, belief system, and they brought us together. So from 1914, it was already a nation in the making. But for you to make a nation with such diverse nationalities and people and nation, you needed to have a system that would guarantee the rights
of everybody.
The protection of everybody within any sort of constitution that was supposed to be enacted or promulgated. But then what happened was they managed us from 1914 until 1960, and they said, here you go. Take your nation. Regress back. Hutus and Tutsis in Burundi and Rwanda. What did they do? They took Hutus and Tutsis, put them in Burundi, took them and put in Rwanda. Why didn't they allow all the Hutus go to Burundi, and all the Tutsis go to
the other side? You
get me? But they know that when two tribes or two nations or three nations that do not agree, do not share similar culture, tradition and everything, that there will always be conflict. And then they will come in as the colonial masters.
As if they're solving the problem.
And then we will believe they are managing. That's why the Queen is still the head of the Commonwealth. And we have to bow, as Julius Caesar said, as Hololus. So the problem started in 1914. Now fast track to 1960. The question was still asked, if any of you does not want to belong to Nigeria, say it now. They not said we are not ready. They shifted it forward to get them ready. And then remember what the Sultan of Sokoto said in 1960. He said we will see Nigeria as a plantation.
As a plantation.
And we will use the minorities as willing tools. We will not allow them have rule over themselves. And all these issues were there. So you saw and then all the political parties at that time more regional, apart from the West and that led by Zeke. So moving forward to before the war, the first military coup happened. It was not purely an Igbo coup, but it was christened to be that. So now we now have a war after 3 years, lost over 3-point-something million people. And they said there was no victor, no vanquish. And that would have been the beginning of a better nation. We've lost the opportunity. We went through a war. There was no victor, no vanquish from what you said. It would have been another Nigeria, another opportunity for Nigeria to be a nation by saying, let us go for a tabula rasa. What did we do wrong? Why did Biafra want to succeed? Why were they killing? What is the part of Middle Belt? How do we guarantee the Niger Delta, the Cross River people? How do we guarantee the minorities so that we can begin to build a nation? But while they preached no victor, no vanquished, they seized the properties of the Easterners. They changed the educational system and some people became disadvantaged. They changed a lot of things. Demographic. While the war ended on paper, the war did not end in the minds of people like Olusegun Obasanjo, people like Murtala Mohammed, people like Ibrahim Babangida, people like the current President Buhari. The war did not end in their minds, because if it ended, we would have seen the rebirth of a new nation, a nation where everybody will belong and feel part of that nation. So what we have today is the Nigeria where we are all loyal to our primordial societies. So the first thing you see is, what is your name? I'm Obi. Automatically he's Igbo, he's Biafran. Oh, he's Yoruba. Oh, he's Yoruba, he's Oduduwa, he's Arewa. Automatically that happens. And even in federal government appointments, even in interrelation between us as Nigerians, you still find those things coming up.
Of course,
look at Nigeria today. Look at the UK. Some people have lived here for more than 100 years. But can you see a proper Nigerian organization? No. It would always be. So when the guy was talking about sharing money, it is not the money that is the issue. Gowon said, we have money. How to spend it was the problem. Nigeria is not lacking money when they put the necessary, create the necessary enabling environment. But what is happening in Nigeria today is that corruption has become imbibed into the system. It is institutionalized. Nigerians breed corruption. They sing corruption. They digest corruption. It's not just the politician alone. So when you say share money, what will happen? The money will go to the state governors, like the security votes that is going to them, over 30-something million every month. What are they doing with it? Look at the rate at which people are dying. So when you have a society that is built on corruption, no matter how much money you pump in, you will never solve a problem.
The idea he had was that if we know from state to state that each state government, for example, has 20 billion. I'm just giving an example. 20 billion. And among all this 20 billion, there's hospitals, there are roads, there's this to be built. Then we as individuals from that state can go and say, hey, Mr. Governor, you have 20 billion. We want to know why is that road not done? Why is that hospital not done? Because the reason why, the thing is now that it's central government, nobody's bothered. Everybody's the money goes into the central government, the oil goes in, the money of the oil, and then it disappears. Well, and nobody's doing anything.
I would say that's real sophistry. Really,
exactly.
Sophistry. You can't just, Let me be very blunt. What my brother here has said in terms of giving a background will tell you what is Nigeria's national goal. We don't. Every society has values. If you look at the United Kingdom, they'll be telling you about Magna Carta.
Of course.
If you look at the USA, it is the constitution that binds them, the rule of law. The French have similar things. So as Nigerians, the question is, what is our national goal? That may even be the starting point. That should be the starting point. It's not about, we have a constitution.
Of course,
So for me, it is not even about whether you have the system of government. We've tried everything. We started as a parliamentary. We did the presidential. Babangida also came with some crazy idea of diarchy. I don't know if you know what that means.
I heard about that.
It's a military, civilian, all sorts of concussions in terms of system. So it is not the system, like he rightly said, it is the operators.
It's the operators of the system.
It's the operators of the system that have gotten it wrong. And so as far as some of us are concerned, crisis upon crisis is not going to lead us anywhere. We now have to, so when you're talking about just bringing money, it should not just be about money. Put systems and structures in place.
Okay, the system can be there, but the whole point was that if you have a starting point of where you can say, because what is happening is that the money is there at the top, but it doesn't penetrate on the ground. Nobody at the ground knows how much money is there. But if they get to know, look at the structure here where we are in the UK, the councils and so on. Everything is in the media. It's there that this council this year has received.
No, you're talking about transparency.
Transparency.
Transparency is a system that is governed by rules. So if you, for example, the former minister started something. to actually even counteract what you were saying, was Ngozi Iweala. Every month she was publishing the monies that were going to the Federative Union. So if you are diligent, you will know that, for example, my state Edo got XYZ. So everyone knew. Everyone knew what the local governments were also getting. It is all about operating a system and being sincere.
How about another suggestion that could probably be of a bit of use, because Australia now, even Liberia is trying it out, getting some foreigners in, not in the entire country, but in certain areas.
First of all, you need to look at the major problem of Nigeria. The major problem of Nigeria today is the foundation based on 1999 Constitution. We've got more than 36 items on the exclusive list. Then we've got about 26 others on the concurrent list, which means enormous power is invested in Abuja. So if we have, like what we have today, we are in trouble. So when you want to build a nation, mining, controlled by the government, everything.
The police force.
The police, up till today, Nigeria is answering police force. Others, they are a force. So they are forcing everything on us. The problem is, go back to the 1999 Constitution and ask yourself, can we divulge power? What is the right system for Nigeria? The democracy we practice today is too expensive for a country with a written constitution. Do you know how much a senator earns? Do you know how much a member of House of Assembly earns? Then you times that by the number of the members of Senate and House of Assembly and even State Assembly. You find out that over 40-something% of our GDP is going into the pocket of people who are doing nothing apart from sitting in Abuja in one very well decorated house. They get over billions for furniture. These guys could be part-time.
Well, but the challenge is that to reform a constitution, it's a minefield.
It's a minefield.
It's a minefield to reform a constitution. And like I said, the biggest challenge afflicting some of them is the mindset challenge. Now, let me give you an example that will shock some of your viewers. There was this move to give autonomy to states' House of Assemblies. The emperors, I call them, those are powerful state governors, ensured that the state houses of assembly did not meet the requirements. So it's really two-thirds. You see, they set a lot of minefields in the constitution. And so to change a constitution radically, you need two-thirds of the 36 states.
All right,
And so it was almost there, but some states,
they didn't want that.
The legislatures themselves said, we don't want this autonomy. That is telling you the mindset of the people. So it's not an easy thing to say, let's let them go part-time. How do you do this? So we have to, for me, I would want to use a principle that I call nudging. Nudging is what Obama did when he was president. He set up a behavioral unit in the White House. And so for us Nigerians, to my mind, is the ability to begin to do what my brother and I here are talking about. The consciousness. Edo is a good example. You know, I have to touch on that.
Of course. I like what happened there.
In terms of changing the narrative, a lot of Edo people who were not in either party said, you know what, we've had enough. We are going to elect a governor of our choice, regardless of what Abuja says, regardless of the so-called godfathers. The godfathers were relying on rigging. They were not campaigning per se. They just thought we will use federal might. We will come. No, the people stood still. And a proper election was held. And the people's choice, which was the governor, was elected. So that Edo can also be a model for the rest of Nigeria. We are talking about solutions here.
Of course.
But Edo did not start overnight.
No, it must have been over.
So it's been at least 2 years of strategy, planning, and looking at all this stuff and gelling it together, and it worked well. And credit to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora.
Yeah, right. The issue, I was touching on the issue of foreigners. The idea is, because why I'm saying that, Liberia, for example, the current president, Samuel Doe.
No, the footballer. Not
the footballer. Sorry.
George Weah.
George Weah is trying out something, which the lady, the former president, had tried at the beginning. Said, look, let's get a couple of top people from, in fact, they even have Nigerians in certain ministries, highly educated Nigerians. They've got them from America, and some were got from here. And they're giving them positions in the government in Liberia. And the idea is, if the person is not from here, he's going to be neutral in what he's doing. And South Africa is doing that. In certain hospitals in South Africa now, you have a lot of Nigerians and Ugandans who are heads of departments and so on. Because the structure is such that when you look at it and say, okay, we as Nigerians, if, for example, we employ a number of Ugandans, a number of Kenyans or something, not necessarily in all the administrative areas, but as a starting point, because a neutral person will look at something very differently. You get the point?
I think you're missing the point here.
Yeah?
Nigerians are not lacking intelligent people.
Or human resources.
Yeah.
Nigerians are not lacking human resources.
You have the human
Nigerians have abundance in human resources. The problem is that how can positivity thrive in a negative environment?
Exactly.
Okay.
When you make corruption treasonable felony, and people can go to jail or be executed, as in China for corruption, I think somebody will look at his back before he steals. When you have a dialogue, first of all, look at the constitution, look at Nigeria today. I would expect the leaders, I don't even call them leaders, I would expect the politicians in Nigeria to look at themselves. Thank God America is beginning to deny them visas. UK is beginning to deny them visas. Hope Canada joins and Australia joins. Let them stay there and feel the heat from the people. If they can sit back and say to themselves and be patriotic for once. What is happening in Nigeria today is that when you are patriotic and you speak against the evil of the government, you become a target. You become the enemy. And they claim they are protecting Nigeria, but they are killing Nigeria. So what do you need? You need a uniform national conference with clear intention to rebuild that nation, if the nation must be. Without that sort of national conference, without a restructured Nigeria, it will be very, very difficult. Because the whole power of the nation is centered in one man. He's God. He's got the right to fire, to hire, to assassinate, to do whatever he wants to do. They call him the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So listen, when you invest so much power in one person, that's why today in Nigeria, the Senate, they are mannequins in the shopping mall of Nigerian democracy. You know the mannequin. When you're going to the shop, you see the mannequin well dressed. The mannequin is dressed in what you want to wear, but the mannequin can't talk. The mannequin can't walk. It can't act. It can't breathe. That is the same thing with Nigerian Senate, the House of Reps, the judiciary. Everywhere is dead because one man can decide to sack everybody and bring in the people he wants. That's why Nigeria is run by one ethnic group today. Something that is not possible, that could never have happened before. So if we want a country, it means that the people, the politicians, the people must ask for an equitable, just and fair society. A society that is built on ability, not on tribe. A society that is built on input and vision, not on religious sentiment. What we have today is a far cry. And I don't see any move by this present government, neither the past government, towards moving Nigeria forward. They use it as an acronym for politics.
we're going back to problems.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
solutions.
So let me, because you see,
yeah.
we can't rush into say, because if everybody at the top is like that, the most difficult part about the most difficult part about it, because corruption, it's peak.
Well,
you can't unless you
I agree.
You get the point.
We're talking solutions. But it's important that when you're looking at solutions,
you look at the problem as well.
No, we've highlighted the problem. So let's talk solutions. But you have to also be competent enough to know the type of solutions
you're going to find.
You're going to. Let me use.
That's why I was bringing in a bit of a foreign thing.
I'll speak on that. Nigeria does not need any foreign person to come and help us run. For every position you have in any field, there will be at least 40, 50 Nigerians who can fill it.
Yes.
Remember that even our children's generation are also up and coming. And there are a lot of movement. So it's not as bad as it looks in terms of, because let's look at the private sector. The private sector can be a model which the government
can work on.
Can work on. So if we are looking at Nollywood, for example, it's giving Nigeria a more positive light than even government initiatives.
Of course.
Of course.
Sports, football, when the Super Eagles were Super Eagles. I know going to France 98, just wearing the Nigerian jersey and everything, foreigners coming to say, you know what, Kanu, JJ Okocha, these guys, they've done well. The young folks, the Davidos, the Whiskey, Tiwa Savage, they've elevated Nigeria. So that's a structure. And I was watching a program. I'll tell you this. I was watching a program of Nigerians in America and the UK. And the lady, I can't remember, an able lady, and she said, she's American actually, she said, what Nigeria needs to do, they're doing it in America, that when young people are kind of tuned up, because there was this criticism, they are watching Big Brother, they should vote. And they said, no, you can use what people like
to educate them.
To educate the rest. So if you are talking about politics or governance and everything, and then you're bringing in people in the entertainment industry, and then the interest. So that's what I call nudging. So as far as we're concerned, is having a proper discussion on how some of these things can be taken forward. So it's not all doom and gloom. As like my brother was saying, COVID has arrested so many bad behaviors. So if you can't travel, you have to fix your hospital.
Now the issue of nationalism, if I go back, the former governor, the last governor, British governor in Nigeria, quote, he said something here. Nigeria is still very much a tribal society where local and tribal alliances count more than the national interest.
So what was that?
So said Sir James Wilson Robertson, the last colonial governor of Nigeria. This man was he right in what he says? Because if you correct the national interest first, as he says, the tribal society, local and tribal alliances are more important than the entire nation.
But
he realized that.
But we are going back to the problem.
No. What I'm saying, if he said this in the 60s when he was living, if you can correct that, maybe the national interest, what we are talking about.
You know, I took you back to 1914. This man, they knew the problem before the amalgamation.
You said so.
Right?
You said so.
Now, again, he is describing us as tribes. Now, the people you are describing as tribes, the Benin Kingdom were in millions. The Igbo nation, we have over 80 million Igbos. We have over same number in the West. These are nations. But what did the colonial masters do? They described us as tribe, therefore belittling the intelligence and capacity of over 80 million people and putting them in a minute box of don't think for yourself. Now,
Mm.
they knew that there would be conflict.
Oh, yeah,
conflict
they
there.
did know
They
that.
knew that the complexities of Nigeria needed to be fixed. So the question you ask yourself, what sort of system of governance would have suited a nation where you have 250 languages?
Yeah.
And you can call them ethnic groups.
No, 250 ethnic groups, but
Ethnic
over
groups.
5,000 languages.
Over 5,000 languages.
Okay.
In Nigeria.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Every 50 kilometers from
Different
the Delta
language.
side is a different language. So the first thing you look at is, how do you guarantee cohesiveness among these people?
Okay.
How do you guarantee uniformity amongst them? How do you guarantee that the minorities are not oppressed? How do you guarantee an equitable system of governance?
Yeah.
So you split the nation into states, but still, that is not what is needed in Nigeria. The regional system initially was even better, right? Where you could say, this region, this is what you have.
Yeah.
Look at how to generate your internally generated revenue.
Yeah.
You can have export-import sort of agreement with foreign partners. So whatever you cultivate in your society, you can sell the dividend from it. But the way Nigeria is structured, I talked about the 36 list concurrent items on the concurrent list.
Yeah.
Do you know that because of the corruption in Nigeria, for instance, in the whole of the East, there are roads that you cannot touch.
Yeah, of course.
They say these are federal roads.
Yeah.
Some of them, the contracts have been awarded centuries ago.
Yeah,
Nobody has done anything
Yeah.
because they know the government will leave after 4 years,
Yeah.
or the highest it will extend.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that can the federal government, if they are patriotic, diversify the society,
Yeah.
allow the people to breathe? When this guy was dying in America, he said, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So many Nigerians can't breathe.
Yeah.
We as citizens, we can't breathe.
Yeah.
So we need a system that allows for competition. Let me tell you something. Look at the seaports. This thing can help regions grow. All Nigerians are shipping from Lagos. Lagos is saturated. Lagos is full. Lagos cannot take people anymore. It has spilled over to Ondo. Now you have a Sahara seaport, whatever they call it, in Kaduna. But you have real seaport in One, you have in Calabar, you have in Warri.
Yeah, even doing a deep seaport in Akwa Ibom.
In Akwa Ibom. Why can't you diversify the economy so that these communities can grow on their own terms and begin to compete? And before you know it, you would see development coming. But because the government has not come out of that mentality, the colonial war mentality, they want to hold some regions down.
Well,
that's why the refineries in Nigeria, 4 of the refineries are short. But Dangote is building a refinery in Lagos. How do you create employment? Do you know how many graduates we bring out every year? These guys have nowhere to go.
I think one of the things, we're talking about solutions.
Solutions.
Yes, in addition to what he's saying, I would say that the financial system requires tweaking. So if you're giving an individual, say $100 million or billions of dollars to build infrastructure, imagine if you gave that money to SMEs.
Yes.
Okay.
If you are investing 100 million, and by the way, Aba is a city in Abia State, southeast of Nigeria. They produce over 1 million pairs of shoes every blessed day. And the shocking thing is that they may even take it to Dubai and have it stamped, brought to Nigeria again, and sold. People come from all over Cameroon and whatever to come and buy shoes. So Aba is known for producing shoes. Not just shoes, accessories. And if I want to shock you further, you will be surprised that the tannery in Kano is what all these French designers buy. Louis Vuitton, all those leather, they buy them from Nigeria. So the thing is, it's now using the private sector to drive
the economy.
The economy. We don't have any choice. As a matter of fact, we are back to the world now where it is either you do business the normal way, or you do the wrong way. No. Or you go bust. Nigeria right now can no longer tolerate bad behavior. It's very clear, and I say it with all sense of responsibility. It will not be acceptable anymore. The younger people are impatient.
Let me give you something. I studied when I was reading my second master's degree in Germany, global political economy. I studied the German industrial system. And what surprises me is that the way the Germans split their industries. Listen to this now. I worked in a factory that was canning tomato. You know the tomato? Now, what happens? How does this happen? Where the tomato is grown is a different part of Germany. Another factory in Germany is responsible for washing the tomato. Another company is responsible for grinding the tomato in another state.
Value added,
right? Then you now come to the canning of it. The people who produce the plastic can is in Bayern. People who produce the cup is somewhere in Munich. The people who produce the tin, you know, the tomato puree. So you are looking at one industry,
but with value chain.
Across the whole of the nation. So now the truck drivers from all these states have a job because they have to transport those raw materials to where the finishing product is.
So you're creating
So you
jobs.
have over 8 states supplying one industry. That is just the ketchup, the tomato industry. Think about the other one, the mayonnaise and other factories. In every German city, in every German town, there is what is called an industrial hub. So the people from that community, they don't need to travel to Lagos. They don't need to go to Abuja. They get up in the morning and they go to their industrial hub and work. So you see some people 30 years in a community, they've not been on flight. They've not gone on the train except going on holiday. Because what they need is in their community. Why is it that Nigeria as a nation, we do not learn what is right and do right?
Yes.
We have the world to learn from. There is nothing to create today. Do you know that?
You can't reinvent the wheel. Everything's been done.
Everything has been developed. So all we can do is look at thriving economies. What did they do right? Do we have the power, the resources to do this, get this done? Come to this country. Look at companies and see how they thrive. Everywhere here. So Nigeria can work. But a society that instead of going through productivity is more interested in religion, that society suffers. The white people that brought religion, where are they today? Everything the Bible said is happening here.
Exactly.
Right? So when we are talking about Islam today, Christianity today in Africa, we are building more churches, more mosques than industries. Such a society suffers lack.
Yes, I think it comes back to, because I'm glad he's talked about the economy. It comes back to having a well-articulated plan. Now, even on my own simple thing, we've been doing an economic sustainability series as a company, my publishing thing. We've been doing it. And it's very interesting that we get folks like you as an individual, as a private company, getting people like you. And the government itself should learn from the private sector. Like I said, Nigeria does not lack intelligent men and women. We don't. I'm not because I'm a Nigerian, it's just fact.
But you've touched on religion as well. I'm trying to say now, religion has an impact as well.
Well, it does. It's one of. I wouldn't even say religion per se. I'm a Christian, so I don't believe a Christian faith. It's more of a Christian faith. But the thing is, when you don't have rules in a society,
of course.
No, listen, the way Nigerians are behaving in Nigeria, those who say they are pastors and teaching people to be lazy and not think and telling them about miracle and all this prosperity preaching, you cannot do it in this country.
You can't.
Listen, there's a new rule that has been redone. It's called Karma 2020. Yes? And the people kicking against it are mainly pastors. Now, how do you collect money as offering? You're not registered. How do you just get... This is the lawlessness I'm talking about. Impunity. You cannot wake up in this country, go and put a mosque at the end of the road. In the morning, you are blazing your face.
I think they need to do something about that.
Well, that's been done. So that Karma 2020 has taken care of that.
Which is quite good, because Kagame in Rwanda, you don't find churches in Rwanda. You find the normal churches there, but you don't find these churches that are scattered.
No, but you have to
because he played it by we had that in Uganda as well. But when Idi Amin was in office, I mean, you wouldn't open up a church somewhere.
Ask yourself, when did this evolution or explosion of churches start? When people have no jobs.
Okay.
That is why today, any betting system you bring into Nigeria, millions of people want to make money fast. Nigeria moved from, when I was young, we were proud of the nation.
It was a structured system.
There was a structured system.
And it was military regime
I went to school at a time when you could go to the dining hall and be served your food because the taxpayers, our parents were paying the taxes,
money,
and we benefited from it. I went to school when the library was equipped.
Was functional.
I went to school when we had functional bus services that would take you from the hostel to the school at a very minimal amount of money. I went to school when teachers valued education.
So but I mean, to add to what he's saying, we can actually... And it's a very good point he's raised, which I call once upon a time. Once upon a time,
you've got to get those good times back.
No, we have to, because we are beneficiaries
from those good times.
Those good times. But the challenge is that those of us who are beneficiary of my generation have done most damage.
I know.
So you have to understand that 1999, when politics came back, I was 37. Or going on 38, those generation who didn't live outside Nigeria got into politics without having a clue of what they were doing. And now they have perpetrated themselves for over 20 years. So the system, but now...
It's probably the next generation probably march them out in a way.
No, they have to be mentored. So we cannot go on the way it is now.
Right. I have something connection which is also bugging me really. And this is something which is practically taking over the entire African continent, and that is the Chinese. I was due to interview a Chinese man here last month, but something happened and he didn't come. He started a plantation, rice plantation
somewhere in River State.
In River State, and it was really doing very well. He had employed local people, he was getting money, and so on and so forth. Then suddenly, I think the governor started interfering with his business, and the next thing the man knew is that there is being told that his visa is being done, this and that. But at the end of the day, he also had people already within the government who were supporting him, and they were telling him, no. If he's to go, then if the governor is to do something, then he has to compensate you with the income of this amount because you had bought that land.
Hang on
a minute. So he was telling him he had bought that land, and several other Chinese have moved in now in other areas of Nigeria, and they are also prospering in their businesses. In other words, they are sort of transforming Nigeria in a way.
The Chinese cannot transform anything.
Well, sorry.
I'm finishing. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, if they have failed themselves, this Chinese man has come all the way from China. He started the thing and it's progressing. Why can't other African people learn from him and do something, start another rice plantation?
There's nothing to learn from him. And my response to that would be what I call Danger of a Single Story.
Okay.
By Chimamanda Adichie.
Single story narrative.
Single story narrative. So
I'm going to interview him anyway. He will come along.
So with due respect, please, that is a danger of a single story.
Okay.
Nigeria does not need Chinese.
We don't.
I'm sorry, I don't want to sound...
If he had been an Englishman...
No. Listen. Listen, one of the biggest... You were talking about tomatoes.
Yeah.
I've forgotten this gentleman, Igbo chap that has something in Lagos. He does this canned tomato. The guy is successful. Yeah, but the challenge is that if you don't have a structure in place, how can somebody just come from China, go and buy land and start?
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I will respect somebody if a British person today comes to Nigeria and wants to run a farm. He is welcome. Do you know why?
No.
Because I live here. I've enjoyed the hospitality, the opportunity being given to foreigners to thrive in this society. Now tell me one black person that can go to China, own a farm, employ Chinese, and they won't cut off his neck the next day.
I think the answer
saw the treatment of our black brothers
during
COVID-19.
They were thrown on the streets.
So why would the Chinese come to Africa? And we've seen what they are doing in Angola. Listen, when you allow a soldier ant into your farm, do you know what he does?
It brings the others then.
He goes back and tells the other there's a fertile road to follow. And they come in their millions protecting their queen. We have seen Angola. We've seen a lot of African countries that the Chinese have come to invest. Africans should be very careful not to drive themselves into another form of slavery. This second slavery, we will not get out of it if we run into the hands of the Chinese.
Because it's commercial,
The same loans they are giving, let them give it to their people. Africans must wake up. We have the potential to do what is right. What we are lacking in Africa is leadership. And what we are lacking in Africa is a generation of patriotic Africans that can take on the government of Africa today. Let me tell you the truth. The Kwame Nkrumahs took on the British to build the Africa we have today. If we want a progressive Africa, this generation must stop serving the current politicians that we have in Africa and take them on the same way our forefathers took the colonialists that were in Africa.
I think
what is happening is that we have created an environment where thieves are striving. They are protected by law. Our generation today, why people were criticizing Big Brothers, is that while people are suffering, dying, our younger generation that should be crying out loud and fighting these old grandfathers that are ruling us. Do you know I was born hearing about Buhari? I was born hearing about Obasanjo. I was born hearing about... Do you know all these people you're talking about today? As a young boy,
we used to wait on the street waving,
dancing naked. I used to wait for them on the street. And up till today, these grandfathers are there. Our generation must say no.
Okay, I need something because we're coming towards the end of the program. Something which I've been having, which is mind-boggling all along, and we need to have this quickly because we're coming towards the end of the program. And that is the Nigerian system of having senators, of having the
House of Representatives
is an American system.
Is
it failing? Because if that's the case, then let's look at an African system, a Nigerian system, a new system that might work in Nigeria. Well, because these old things we're trying to find now. Maybe we need a new system.
I don't believe in escapism or denial. I told you that we tried a parliamentary system.
It failed.
Let me tell you, the parliamentary system, Chief Enahoro wrote once and complained that they were meeting twice or 4 times a month. 4 times a month. So it was just a hopeless case. Imagine Italy running a system of having a turnover of over 45% prime minister since World War II.
Yeah.
Imagine even the UK here, there's crisis. You can just wake up and say we vote of no confidence. Even Nigerians ignorantly will say where Buhari or the president or the governor should step down, vote of no confidence. That's crazy. You've elected somebody 4 years, you can't do that. And crisis is not, it's just a cycle. I know you're running out of time. Let's look at America. America today, I am sure if Nigeria knew what America was possibly doing now, are you not going to be scratching your head that Donald Trump is president of America? And look at the way he's running the country.
Donald Trump,
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it is not the system, it is the operators. If we are able to get...
Steve, I think the truth is that we must...
before I go ahead, I need to thank these people. Several of them have been on here saying, look, they're watching and they like what you're saying. Kate and always say thank you. Alejo Guze, I don't know what that means. And then he say, yes, thank you very much. Somebody didn't give his name. Kate, look, she says, very educative in Nigeria. I was able to progress very quickly on arrival to England, and today send children to study in Nigeria. Present teachers have diverted interest. That's what she says, and it says Africa has everything that can be built a nation. We are greedy leaders. So unfortunate. Interesting topic. Well, we're coming, as I said, towards the end. You are saying something.
The truth is that a few minutes. If we truly have leaders that claim or say they are patriotic, we need a functioning nation. And how do you get a functioning nation? When you identify defects in your system, you have a lot of systems here. The first thing you do is you do an analysis of your system. Find out what the issue is, then you find how to deal with it. We have, throughout this 1 hour, told you with pain in our hearts the problems of Nigeria. And we have suggested solutions. But one fundamental solution must be to restructure. But unfortunately, recently, the federal government of Nigeria came out and said, those shouting about restructuring, they can't force them to do so. You are leading a nation that is dying, a nation that is about to go bust. The first thing you do is you have a crisis meeting and say to yourselves, what are we not doing right? The democracy you talked about is too expensive. The amount of money these senators, members of House of Reps, and all the affiliates, the deputies and everything is too much. So we need to look at a nation that can guarantee equitable distribution of resources. Transportation needs to be fixed. Nigeria has the capacity to have the best hospitals that Africans can come to for medical treatment. We are not having it. We need to look at
Margaret Thatcher once said that she knows I think 8 people who can pay the debt of Nigeria. You understand? I want to find out quickly. Who was the best president Nigeria has had so far?
Well, there's no fast and hard rules about that. I will be a little bit biased. I will be a little bit biased. But I want to base it on pure empirical evidence. And to my mind, I would say, look at what they have done in terms of the economy, in terms of the politics, and there are so many factors you can use. And Obasanjo stands out to my mind as somebody who has done well economically. But I'm sure he has his faults. So
somebody mentioned Sir Tafawa Balewa when he was beginning. Well, there was nothing.
You were too young to. I was too young.
I was. All I remember him about is the war. Like you rightly said, Obasanjo did well, diversifying the economy. But Obasanjo equally is of the old brigade that did not get over the war of 1960. So if he had done better in terms of diversifying, making sure that other regions of the country benefited from his regime, we wouldn't be where we are today.
This topic will have to come back at some other time and finish it, because it's a very, very long topic. We can't end here. We need another 3 to 4 hours to deal with this.
I know, but the truth is that we are losing our nation.
I know. I want to thank both of you for coming here and
thank you,
telling us about your country. And,
thank you very much.
And I'm sure somewhere along the way, Some of you, my suggestion would be, should go in and fight to be senators. Maybe you people would be the one to change the whole thing. As Obama says, if you don't like something, go in for it. So think about it. You two people could make very good senators. Take that word from me. I just want to thank you, viewers, for viewing us for the past 1 hour or so. And I do hope that we'll be together again next week for another edition of Africa Speaks. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.